They laughed at Earth. They thought humans were too small, too slow, too weak. But humans had been building in silence, and now the silence was over. Months had passed since the first Avante scouts were captured. Earth's government stayed. Quiet, no media reports. No leaks. But under deserts, oceans, and icy mountains, something huge was happening, in secret bases across the world. Project Skyfire had begun. In Nevada's dry wasteland, a massive hangar door opened beneath the sand. From it, a sleek black aircraft rose into the sky, smooth and glowing with soft blue light. "This one doesn't need jet fuel," said a scientist. "It bends gravity." In Siberia, a deep underground chamber lit up with pulses of energy. Inside was a human-built reactor powered by alien tech. It hummed softly, feeding power to a half-completed Starship. In the Arabian desert, the first plasma shield was tested. A small bomb was dropped onto the shield. The explosion vanished like smoke hitting glass. The generals watching didn't speak. They just smiled. General Usman watched the reports from around the world. "We were behind the galaxy," he said. "Now we're ahead." Dr. Mira Khan sat beside him, tired but proud. "This all came from one broken ship," she said. Sami corrected, smiling. "It came from us." The captured Avante soldiers had been moved to a high-security space station orbiting Earth. They were still in shock. One of them watched video. "Feeds of Earth's new weapons. They've done this. In months," he muttered. "Empire centuries to build technology like this," another alien prisoner whispered. "If they can do this with junk, imagine what they'll do with a real fleet." Inside the mountain base, Mira and her team activated the alien ship's star map again. But something new had appeared on the map, a blinking red marker. Sami zoomed in. "It's not a planet," he said. "It's a fleet, heading toward us, Avante." Mira asked. "Yes, about 6 weeks out. We're running out of time." Mira took a deep breath. "And it's time to show the galaxy what Earth can really do." The world leaders met in secret, called it the Earth Alliance. Old enemies. Now shared technology, knowledge, and power. This wasn't about borders anymore. It was about survival. China gave engineers. America gave factories. Pakistan, India, Japan, France, Brazil joined. The plan was clear. Build an army. Prepare for the sky. And so the ships came. Striker-class gunships, small, fast, and deadly. Hammerhead drones, AI-guided war machines built for speed. The Dauntless, Earth's first fully functional starship, based on the Avante blueprint. But better. Mira stood on the command deck of the Dauntless during its first flight. The ship rose smoothly into the air, surrounded by blue lightning. She smiled. Not bad for a planet they called garbage. But Earth wasn't just preparing to fight. They were preparing to win. In a hidden lab in Switzerland, scientists cracked the Avante's cloak technology and made it even harder to detect. On a sea platform in the Pacific, a giant space elevator was being built. It would carry parts and troops into orbit without rockets and underground in Africa. Earth's first wormhole gate was nearly ready for testing. The alien prisoners were terrified. "They're building things we haven't even imagined," one said. "They're rewriting the rules," another added. From a broken ship to a planet-wide war machine, the Avante had created their own worst enemy. Then came the message. HAIL. Encoded in Avante language. Mira decoded it and played the audio. "This is Commander Relowin of the Avante Empire. You have touched what is not yours. You will return the vessel. You will bow, or you will be wiped from history." Mira looked at General Usman. Then she smiled and recorded a reply. "This is Earth. We don't bow. We don't give back trash." She sent the message. Across the galaxy, others heard it too. On forgotten planets, broken by the Avante. In the past, people listened and cheered. Pirates, rebels, freedom fighters, they saw Earth as a spark. "If Earth can fight them," said one rebel leader, "so can we." Back on Earth, the Dauntless flew past the moon, testing its weapons. It left behind glowing blue trails. It was fast, strong, alive. Humans had turned garbage into gold. They had built an army in silence. And now, they were ready. The sky would no longer be quiet, because Earth was no longer afraid. The warning came from the stars. Return the ship, surrender, or be destroyed.
Ow.
But Earth doesn't surrender. Earth answers, far above Earth's orbit. The Dauntless hovered in space like a sleeping dragon. On its bridge stood Dr. Mira Khan, now wearing a black command uniform. Screens around her showed distant star systems. Something closer. The Avante fleet, coming fast. 20 ships. Armed, ready for war. General Uzman's voice echoed from Earth. Ek! They'll reach us in less than 10 days. Mira stared. At the screen, then it's time. She stepped forward, recording a message. This wasn't for just the Avante. It was for the whole galaxy. This is Earth. You warned us. Now hear our warning. We are not afraid of you. You left your trash. On our planet, we turned it into power. And if you come here to take it back, you will fail. She paused. This is your warning. Earth is awake. She sent it. The message traveled fast through satellites, wormholes, and old relay beacons. Within hours, it was everywhere. Across the galaxy, beings of all shapes and worlds watched Mira's face. They watched her eyes. Calm, sharp, human. On trade stations, people stopped working and stared. On slave worlds, the weak dared to hope. In war rooms, empires grew silent. In the Council of High Species, the Avante leaders met in fury. She dares threaten us, barked one. She commands from a garbage world, another shouted. But Reluin, the Supreme Commander, didn't laugh. He stared at the video again and again. She's not lying, he said quietly. They believe they can win. That makes them dangerous. Earth's reply caused a storm across the stars. Old enemies of the Avante began moving. Small rebel fleets that had been hiding for decades started to rise. On the mining moon of Catel, slaves threw down their chains and raised Earth's message on a stolen screen. If Earth can fight, one shouted, so can we. Back on Earth, Mira and Sami stood in the Dauntless's war room. On the table, holograms of the approaching Avante fleet flickered in red. We can't win in open space, Sami said. Mira nodded. That's why we won't fight them in space. She pressed a button. Across the table appeared a new image. Map of the moon. We fight them here, she said. On ground, we control. With weapons they've never seen. In the shadows of Earth's moon, hidden bunkers opened. From within came Earth's Shadow Fleet, a group of fast, cloaked ships built using Avante designs but powered by human creativity. They moved like smoke, silent, deadly, waiting. The Avante fleet approached Earth fast. Commander Reluan stood on his bridge, watching the blue planet come into view. Send another warning, he ordered. They sent the message. Surrender the ship. Earth will burn. But this time, the reply wasn't just words. It was a demonstration above the moon. A wormhole opened for just 3 seconds. A small drone flew through, fast as light. It reached the Avante's lead ship and dropped a single device. A human-made. Gravity bomb, boom. The Avante ship vanished, gone in a silent blue flash. No survivors, no wreckage. Just gone. Back in the Avante command ship, alarms rang. What happened? Reluin roared. A weapon we've never seen, said an officer. It bent space around our ship and crushed it. Reluin's fists tightened. They warned us. But he wasn't ready to retreat. Prepare to strike, he said. We'd burn Earth to ash. On Earth, people watched from bunkers, bases, and cities. They had heard the threats. But they had also seen Mira's reply. They weren't afraid. Children in schools learned how to use shelters. Workers helped build power lines for defense shields. Pilots trained on new ships powered by the alien core. For the first time, all of humanity was united, not in fear, but in purpose. Myra sat in the Dauntless, looking out at the stars. "They're coming," Sami said. "I know," she replied. He looked nervous. "What if we can't stop them?" Mira smiled. "Then we'll make sure they never forget us." Across the galaxy, more ships began to move, not Ivante, but others. A pirate fleet from the black moons of Raxos. A rebel squad from the broken ring world of Kar. Even peaceful traders from neutral systems. They weren't allies, not yet, but they all moved in one direction, toward Earth. The warning had been sent, the fire had been lit, and the galaxy would never be the same. They thought Earth would hide. They thought humans would wait. But Earth struck first. The galaxy blinked in disbelief. Far beyond the moon, in deep space, the Ivante fleet moved closer to Earth. They had 20 ships, each one armed with weapons. That had destroyed whole worlds before, but this time, their enemy was different. Earth was not running. Earth was not begging. Earth was planning. Inside the command center of the Dauntless, Dr. Myra Khan stared at the map of the galaxy. Blinking red markers showed enemy ships. Blue dots marked hidden human vessels. "They expect us to defend," she said. "But we won't." Sami raised an eyebrow. "What are we doing then?" Mira tapped the screen. "We're going to strike." First, from behind Earth's moon, 6 stealth ships launched. Small, fast, coated in light-bending skin. Their mission? A surprise attack on the Ivante. Fuel depot floating near Saturn's rings. It powered their ships. It fed their machines. Destroy it hand, the fleet would be blind, weak, and stranded. The stealth ships flew in absolute silence. No lights, no signals, no mistakes. When they reached the depot, it looked quiet. Too quiet, one pilot whispered. "This is a trap." Mira's voice came through the coms. "Then spring it." At once, the human ships attacked. Laser-guided missiles, plasma cannons, AI drones made from Ivante tech, but smarter, faster, boom, boom, boom. The depot exploded in a chain reaction. 3 Ivante guard ships tried to escape. They didn't make it. Across the stars. The message spread fast. Earth has attacked. Ivante losses confirmed. Human fleet victorious. On distant worlds, people gasped. A merchant in Sector 12 said, "They're not defending. They're fighting. Back." A rebel on the desert moon of Varn laughed. Earth has teeth. Back in the Ivante war room, Commander Riluin stared at the reports. "Impossible," he growled. "They destroyed the depot." A nervous officer nodded. "They struck first, sir." Riluin slammed the table. "They're not supposed to act like this." He turned to the screen, launched the attack on Earth now. But the Ivante fleet was already weaker. They had fuel but not enough to chase. Humans across space. They had power, but Earth had learned their weaknesses, and now Earth was moving fast from the Dauntless. Mira sent out new orders. "Strike teams prepare for Mission Alpha 9. Target, the lead Ivante ship." Wasn't suicide. It was science. The ship's hull was strong, but Earth had designed a new gravity disruptor. It didn't need to pierce armor. It made the metal fall apart from inside. Sami piloted the lead strike ship himself. As he flew toward the enemy flagship, he whispered for Earth. He fired the weapon. A beam of light hit the enemy ship. For a second, nothing happened, then dash crack. The Ivante flagship split down the middle like paper tearing underwater. The galaxy watched. One human ship. One shot. One dead flagship. On the ground, people cheered. In bunkers and cities, human children waved flags. Old soldiers smiled with tears in their eyes. The world had once looked up and felt small. Now they looked up and felt proud. But Mira wasn't done. "We hit them once," she said. "We hit them again." She looked at the map. Next target. Their command relay station. This time, Earth didn't send ships. They sent a virus. Not a human virus, a digital one. Made by Earth's best hackers and coded in hybrid. Alien language. It slipped into the Ivante systems. Invisible. Quiet. And then chaos. Ivante screens flashed nonsense. Navigation failed. Messages looped endlessly. In the command ship, Riluan screamed, "Who did this?" Mira's face appeared on every screen. She smiled. "Still think we're primitives?" "No." "Then the virus." "Shut." There comes down completely. Riluan knew. He had made a mistake. They had brought war to Earth, but Earth had brought it back with interest. He gave a bitter order. "Retreat. We'll regroup. We underestimated them." Earth wasn't letting them leave. Hidden Earth ships blocked their path. Orbital mines exploded. The Avante had to run through fire. In the end, only half their fleet escaped. The rest were gone back. On Earth, Myra stood on the bridge of the Dauntless. She didn't cheer. She didn't smile. She looked at the stars. "They'll return," she said. Sami nodded. "Then we'll be stronger." And across the galaxy, everyone knew. Earth didn't just survive. Earth had struck back. Earth had won. The war was not over, but something bigger had happened. Something no one expected. The galaxy remembered Earth. A week had passed since Earth's surprise attack shattered the Avante fleet. Across star systems, space stations, hidden planets, and pirate outposts, everyone was talking about the same thing. The humans fought back. And they won. In places where Avante soldiers once ruled with fear, people whispered the name Earth like a spark of hope. "They used junk," one smuggler said, laughing. "They broke the flagship," said a rebel leader. "They're smarter than we thought," said an old alien scholar. Much smarter. Back on Earth, the world was still recovering. Cities had been spared. The skies were quiet. But everything had changed. The governments of Earth, once divided by borders, now stood as one. The Earth Alliance was no longer secret. It was real, strong, united. Dr. Myra Khan walked through the command center of Dauntless. Screens showed new starships being built, faster than ever before. "How far we've come," she whispered. Sami stood beside her. "And how far we can go." In orbit, Earth's first Starguard fleet stood ready, no longer made from stolen parts. These were fully human-designed ships, with alien-inspired upgrades. The alien ship they once found buried in the mountain? It now sat in a museum dome on the moon, fully repaired and shining. People visited every day. Children placed their hands on its hull. They called it Hope One. The captured Avante prisoners had been returned in exchange for peace talks, not surrender talks. It shocked the galaxy. Riluan, the feared Avante commander, was forced to sit across from human leaders. Not as a conqueror, but as an equal. "You should have left Earth alone," General Usman told him. Riluan didn't answer, simply looked down. The Galactic High Council held an emergency meeting. Every species was watching. An old alien ambassador stood and spoke. "The humans did something we thought was impossible. They turned garbage into gold. They turned weakness into strength. They gave us something we had lost. Fear, then," he added, "and maybe something else too. Hope." Myra was invited to speak before the council, something no human had ever done before. She stood tall, calm, her words simple. "We didn't start this fight, but we finished it. We don't want to rule the stars. We only want to live. Anyone threatens Earth again, we won't hide. We will rise." There was silence. Then, for the first time in history, the council stood and applauded a human. After the speech, dozens of species reached out to Earth. Old enemies of the Avante offered trade. Rebels asked for alliances. Scholars requested to study with Earth scientists. Earth had gone from being a classy world to something new, a galactic power. But Earth didn't celebrate like conquerors. They remembered the lessons. Mira visited the ruins of the original crash site high in the mountains. Sami joined her. "Funny, isn't it? It started here. One junk ship." Mira smiled. They dropped their trash. On the wrong planet, they looked up at the stars. "So what now?" Sami asked. She answered simply, "Now we build, now we explore, and now we lead." From orbit, Earth looked peaceful again, but above it flew ships. Defenders, explorers, builders, and beyond Earth, humans were no longer seen as weak. Were remembered by the galaxy, by history, by everyone who had ever been told to sit down, stay small, and stay quiet. Because humans had done what no one expected. They turned junk into a legacy. In space, silence is normal, but silence doesn't last forever. And one signal sent from Earth was about to make the galaxy tremble. It had been 36 hours since the alien scout ship was captured. It's now locked in a military base. The Avante scout stared at the humans with confusion and fear. They were supposed to be animals, he whispered. They were supposed to fight with sticks and fire, but the humans had floating drones, gravity tech, defense fields, even the crashed Avante. Tech was being repaired and made better. They didn't just find the ship. They learned from it, faster than any species in recorded galactic history. Meanwhile, deep inside the mountain base, the alien ship's core was glowing brighter every hour. Mira stood beside it, watching the sphere of energy spin slowly. It felt alive. Why is it getting stronger? Sami asked. Mira checked the readings. It's pulling energy from somewhere, outside Earth, from space. Yes. Suddenly, the core sent out a pulse. Not just light, but information. Thousands of alien characters shot into the air like a wave. Then, the ship turned silent again. Mira's heart pounded. What was that? Sami stared at the monitor. I think it just sent a message. 400. Light years away, Sector 71. Outer ring on the bridge of a massive alien command station. Alarms went off. Unregistered signal detected. A technician shouted, Source unknown. Wait, it's from a classy planet. Blue planet. Sol system. Earth. The commander leaned forward, played the message. The room went quiet as they watched the hologram appear. At first just light. Then, Earth's atmosphere, mountains, cities, and finalia, human face. Dr. Mira Khan, her voice came through. Simple and clear. We found your ship. We fixed it. And we're not giving it back. The entire room fell silent. She's speaking. In galactic standard, one officer whispered. Impossible. That planet should still be using radio. The commander stood slowly. We underestimated them. Back on Earth, Mira met with General Usman and other world leaders through a secure video link. The signal was received, she confirmed. Multiple listening posts picked it up. We've been noticed. Are they coming? One leader asked. Mira nodded. Yes, and they won't come in peace. Across the galaxy, news of Earth spread like wildfire. In backwater spaceports, traders whispered, humans fixed a Vante warship. In hidden rebel systems, people watched Mira's message and felt hope. In the great halls of the Galactic High Council, old species argued in panic. They were. Nothing, a lizard-like diplomat shouted. How did they fix a warship in 30 years? They didn't fix it, another replied. They improved it. Meanwhile, Mira's team made a terrifying discovery. Hidden inside the ship's data core was a backup file, blueprints for a much larger version of the ship. What is this? Sami asked. Mira replied slowly. It's not just a cargo ship. It was a test. A prototype. She pointed at the blueprint. This design. It can travel through wormholes. General Usman leaned in. Are you saying we could build one? Mira smiled with enough time. Yes, but I don't think we have much time left. Above Earth's orbit, 3 unidentified objects appeared. They were small, fast, and cloaked in shadow. Ivante drones. They scanned Earth silently, watching human military forces, satellites, and the mountain base. One of them flew to land, was instantly destroyed by a human energy cannon. The others fled. But it was too late. They had already seen enough. Back at the Avante war chamber, Commander Reluan stood before the other generals. They have learned. Too fast. They control our tech. They are dangerous. One general snarled. They are weak. Send a destroyer fleet. Burn the planet. Ruluin shook his head. No, we go ourselves. We make an example out of them. But Ruluin didn't realize Earth wasn't alone anymore. The signal Myra sent had reached old enemies of the Avante. Rebel groups, free planets, and even pirate clans were listening, and what they saw shocked them. One pirate leader, watching. Mira's message laughed. They took junk and made it gold. Another voice said, maybe it's time we help them. Back on Earth, Mira stood outside the glowing ship. She looked at the stars, calm but alert. They think they're coming to a weak planet, she said. Sami stood beside her. They're in for a surprise. Mira smiled. Let them come. They came to destroy the ship. They thought humans would run, but Earth was waiting. A strange silence hung in the air above the mountain base. Dr. Mira. Khan stood on the platform near the alien ship, her eyes fixed on the night sky. The stars were still. But she knew something was coming. Sami checked the radar. We've got movement, he said. 3 fast-moving objects just entered the atmosphere. Mira turned to General Uzman. It's them. The general nodded. All units full alert. Far above, 3 sleek alien shuttles cut through the clouds like knives. They made no sound. Their hulls shimmered like black glass. Inside were elite Avante warriors, trained, cold, and ready to erase anyone who touched their lost technology. This planet is primitive, their leader growled. We're here to retrieve the ship and destroy all evidence. Do not speak to the natives. Kill if needed. No. Humans had prepared. The alien shuttles landed in the forest near the base, silent, hidden, within minutes. 6 Avante soldiers slipped through the trees toward the ship. Infrared sensors, magnetic boots, stealth suits. No alarms went off. No sounds were made. Until one of them stepped on what looked like a rock. Click. A blue wave shot upward. Boom. The trap exploded, trapping them in an invisible field of energy. From the control room, Mira and Sami watched it happen. They're caught, Sami said. All 6. Mira spoke into the microphone. Bring them in. No harm yet. Within minutes, the Avante were dragged into the base by human soldiers wearing Leyen-style armor upgraded using the same material from the ship. The captured aliens looked around in disbelief. This is not possible, one whispered. Shouldn't have this level of tech. Mira walked into the room. Calm. Confident. You came here to destroy us, she said. But now, you're the ones in a cage. One of the Avante, taller than the rest, stepped forward. You don't understand what you've done. That ship belongs to the Avante Empire. Mira crossed her arms. Oh, you left it here. Broken. Buried. You didn't care. We did. It's not your technology, the alien shouted. Then why does it respond to us? She replied. Why does it protect us now? The room fell silent. Elsewhere in the base, Earth's new secret fleet was being tested. Small aircraft built using the junk ship's blueprints were flying without fuel, using gravity drives. Each test was better than the last. Faster, quieter, smarter. We're not just copying them, Sami told Mira later. We're building better versions. Every system we test, we improve. Mira nodded. We've never had a chance like this before. They're scared. Back in the holding cell, one of the captured aliens began talking quietly. You don't know the galaxy like we do, he said. The Avante don't forgive. They'll send a fleet. They'll burn your cities, destroy your leaders, wipe. Your memory from history? Mira looked at him, unshaken. No. We'll make sure Earth becomes a memory they'll never forget. The alien hesitated. You don't fear us? No, she said. Used to fear the stars. Not anymore. Days later, the Galactic High Council received an emergency report. Avante soldiers captured. Alien tech repaired by humans. The ship fully functional. Earth advancing beyond expectations. Panic spread through the council chambers. If humans can grow this fast, one elder said, They could become the most dangerous species in the galaxy. Another replied, "They already are." Earth, Myra stood once again near the alien ship. It had changed even more. The surface glowed softly. Symbols danced across the hull. It was no longer dead, it was alive. She touched the side of the ship. It responded by opening another hidden room. Inside was something incredible. A pilot's seat, a control panel, and a projection of the stars. Sammy gasped. "It's letting you fly it." Mira sat in the chair. The ship lit up brighter than ever before. "What?" A voice echoed inside her mind. Not words, but clear meaning. "We choose you." The Ivante didn't believe in second chances, but humans did. And now, with their first alien prisoner exchange and their first starship ready to fly, Earth was preparing for something bigger than defense. They were preparing to explore, to strike, to lead. The first encounter was over, and the galaxy, it wasn't ready for what came next. No one saw it crash. No one even knew it was there. But the mountain changed that night. Trees caught fire. Birds flew in fear. A deep rumble echoed through the hills, and then dashed silence. In the cold darkness of northern Pakistan, something massive hit the earth. Hidden by clouds and thunder, the object buried itself deep inside the Karakoram Mountains. It wasn't a meteor. It wasn't from Earth. It was a ship, Starship, and the beings inside it. They didn't care. The Avante were not a kind species. They ruled a part of the galaxy where weak planets were used and thrown away. Earth, to them, was a junk world, a place full of noise, pollution, and primitive life. So when one of their cargo ships malfunctioned near Earth, they didn't bother rescuing it. The ship's AI tried to call for help. The crew escaped. In pods, the ship broken, useless, was abandoned. They thought it would rot. They thought the Earthlings were too stupid to find it. They were wrong. 30 years later, Dr. Mira Khan stood at the edge of a steep cliff. Wind blew through her hair as she stared at something impossible, a smooth black wall half buried in rock. It looked like metal, but no human metal had patterns that moved like liquid when light hit it. She turned to her assistant. "It again," she said. "Full spectrum." Sami nodded and aimed the scanner. The device beeped, then buzzed. Doctor," he said nervously, "it's waking up." Back in Islamabad, military leaders and scientists sat around a large table. Footage played on a screen, drone videos, showing the strange ship from above. "It's alien," said General Luzman. "No question, and it's not dead," Mira added. "We detected low-level energy signals. The ship is healing itself." Man laughed. "Healing?" "Yes," Mira said. "The material is self-repairing, like skin. And there's more. It sent out a signal 2 nights ago, pulse into deep space." Silence fell. Everyone understood what that meant. Someone or something out there might have heard it. While the government argued about secrecy, Mira and her team were allowed to study the ship in a secured mountain base. Day by day, they unlocked more. The walls responded to human touch. Lights lit up as if the ship could feel them. Then, a small door opened on its own. Inside was a dark hallway. Cold air flowed out. They stepped in slowly, cameras rolling. No one expected what they saw. The walls glowed blue. Symbols moved like water. A sphere floated in the air core of energy, and in the center of the room was a table. Holograms showing alien stars, planets, and ships. Sami whispered, "It's a map of their empire." Mira's heart pounded. "We're in it. Earth is marked." Outside, the media had no clue. The world believed there was a new dam project in the mountains. But strange rumors spread online. Glowing lights, military, trucks, blocked roads. In secret labs, Myra's team started testing the ship's material. It could heal itself, change shape, and survive extreme heat. Even more shocking, it reacted to human brainwaves. It's not just a ship, Mira realized. It's part machine, part living system, and it wants to connect. One night a generator failed. Power in the lab went down. But the ship powered up. Glowing lines appeared across its body like veins. A soft hum filled the air, floating. Core inside pulsed like a heartbeat. The door opened again, but this time, no one had touched it. Mira and Sami rushed in. On the ship's walls, a hologram formed a humanoid shape, tall and thin, made of light. It spoke, not in words, but in feelings. Fear, anger, warning. The ship was not alone. In a hidden chamber they hadn't opened yet, they found something terrifying. Alien weapons, small devices that could burn through steel, drones with wings like knives. And deep inside the ship, something else, a log file. A message left by the YV Ante. It translated into English slowly, like the ship was learning their language. To any who find this vessel is waste. Do not touch it. You are beneath us. Leave or die in our shadow. Mira stared at the message. They threw this away like garbage. But it's more advanced than anything we've ever seen. Emmy looked at her. What if we use it? Mira smiled slowly. For the first time in human history, they weren't copying alien tech. They were holding it in their hands, studying it, learning fast. What the Avante had left as junk was about to change Earth forever, and somewhere far away. In a galaxy filled with arrogant rulers, a signal had reached a listening post. A Yvante. Warlord opened the transmission. He read the data. Humans. They touched our trash. He laughed. Let them play with it. They won't get far. But he didn't know Earth. Not yet. The ship was broken. Left to die. But Earth is not a graveyard. Humans are not blind. And what started as curiosity was now something else. Obsession. Inside the hidden mountain base, Dr. Mira Khan walked through the alien ship's hallway with a tablet in her hand. Each day her team discovered something new. Each discovery was faster than the last. Look at this, she said to Sami, pointing at the screen. The ship is learning our language. Sami blinked. Our language? You mean English? Yes, and Urdu too. It's adapting, like it wants us to understand it. The ship's interface began displaying simple English words. Buttons labeled themselves. Systems opened one by one. Not with force, but with trust. It was as if the ship had accepted humans in just a few weeks. Earth's top engineers and scientists were secretly flown to the base. Physicists, programmers, military strategists, all sworn to silence. The alien energy core became their focus. It didn't run on fuel. It pulled energy from space itself. This thing, one physicist whispered, could power the entire planet for 1,000 years. Another scientist pointed out something even more shocking. We didn't just figure this out. We improved it. The core had been unstable at first, but human minds found a way to stabilize it using Earth's magnetic field. Something the Yvante never tried. Outside the mountain, the world remained unaware. But in the dark skies above Earth, old satellites were behaving strangely. Some were going offline. Others were showing strange data patterns. Unseen. A small object entered Earth's orbit, a probe, hidden inside space dust. It belonged to the Avante, the same empire that had thrown away the Starship. It scanned Earth's surface. The mountains, the energy spike, and then it sent a message. On the alien homeworld of Karshak, the message was received. High Commander Reluan stood before a massive screen, reading the report. Impossible, he growled. The ship, a smaller alien, spoke carefully. Yes, Commander. Not only that, they activated it, and it responded. Reluan narrowed his eyes. Primitive creatures don't do this? Send a scout team immediately. If the humans have our tech, we will erase them. Back on Earth, Myra's team made another breakthrough. Using the ship's AI system, they created a translation tool. Simple words, but enough to understand. The ship's logs Sami read aloud from one file. Emergency crash. Systems damaged. Crew evacuated. Planet designated as Class Z. Unimportant. Myra chuckled. They thought we were unimportant. They were wrong, Sami said. We're faster than they ever expected. The military now took serious interest. Earth's top generals arrived at the mountain base, shocked by what they saw. "This is alien tech," said General Lusman. "You're telling me we've already turned it into a working power source? Defense system? An AI assistant?" Mira nodded. "And that's just the beginning." Earth began building prototypes. Stealth drones with gravity drives. Armor made from the ship's healing metal. Communication systems that couldn't be hacked. They were not just copying, they were upgrading. The ship began changing too. Its surface grew smoother, shinier, more doors opened. It began to look alive. "It's bonding with us," Myra whispered. One night, watching the ship glow, "We're not just users, we're becoming part of it." But she didn't know they were being watched. High above Earth, a cloaked alien scout ship entered the atmosphere. Its mission: observe and report. The crew expected caves and guns. Instead, they found force fields, silent flying machines, and humans working with alien systems. One alien scout whispered in shock, "They're learning too fast." Before they could escape, a strange humming filled the air. The alien ship lost control. Boom. The scout ship crashed right into one of Earth's new defense traps. Powered by the alien core, the Avante were captured by humans before they even drew weapons. Mira stood face to face with one of the captured aliens. Tall, blue skin, eyes like burning coals. "We don't want war," she said calmly, "but we're not afraid." The alien stared at her in disbelief. "You were not meant to find the ship," Mira replied. "You left it on the wrong planet." At night, the alien ship's core glowed brighter than ever before. Sent out another signal this time, more powerful, not a call for help, a challenge. The galaxy had ignored Earth, mocked Earth, left trash on Earth now. Earth was waking up.